what does he do? How fearful of this place. If I'd known, I would never have slept here. Right? What does Paro do when he wakes up from a dream?
He goes back to him.
Back to sleep. Okay, so
What's the message?
the message is that if somebody's had a vision from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, somebody feels it's something, important message, God has revealed him some sort of message, he shouldn't go back to sleep again. Anyway.
Good mission. Oh, I think it's good.
Okay, we'll see about this.
So I think we learned Vayish, the whole parsha, and leave the we learned. We missed the whole parsha, but it's not sure. And Tamar and everything.
Okay, what we can do.
Here's the parsha.
Morning
Okay, let's
Morning.
start off.
and good afternoon.
Amen. Good afternoon.
Darren, would you want to start, please?
Where
Mikates. Page Reish Lamed Aleph.
Yislach. There you go. Okay. We'll get there.
Getting closer, warmer.
Cold.
Yeah, here. Okay? Perek Mem Aleph, Pasuk Aleph. Parshas Mikates.
Ve'hi mikate shanim
Shinosayim.
Shinasayim Yomim.
Let's see what
The end of Shinasayim Yomim.
2 years of days.
2 years of days. Paro cholein vinei omeid al hayar. And Paro has a cholen,
Dreaming.
Vinei, he is standing on the Ya'or. Is that right?
Right. Okay, now, I like the way you translate the fact it says standing on the river.
Omeid al, that's the way.
He was actually standing on the water.
Omeid al hayar, that's...
Well, the implication is he was actually standing on the water,
Well, apparently
walking on water.
in the Middle East, that you guys could do it here. You can't do it in New York, walking on water or London.
Somebody did that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Some
Yeah, they said
Sometimes
the
the water is
joke.
self-loaded, you can stand on it.
some Jewish boy who
Yeah, so they said, you know the joke goes, that they, after he supposedly resurrected, right? And he asked, well, okay, so we'll walk on water. Kids, he walked down and he fell in. So he says, well, how did I say what? He says, at last time I didn't have the holes in my feet. Anyway,
Cut this off.
joking aside, okay? The Chayra, we'll see from Rashi later that he was actually standing on the water. Okay? Even though you could learn the actual Lashon al hayar doesn't necessarily mean on, but it can mean next to.
knew.
Right, we often find the Lashon al is referring to next to. Okay, let's see the Rashi.
He indicates the Targum mouth is so
Misot, at the end. Right, so Rashi's got this Rashi's bothered by this expression, mikates. Okay?
the end of what, huh?
You should just say, Vahi bekates. Bekates Shnosayim, at the end of 2 years. Okay? But it says mikates means misoif, and that Rashi means at the end.
The whole Lashon Kate so good.
Right, wherever you turn and use kates, right, means
At the end.
at the end. The end of a period of time. Okay? By the way, Rashi doesn't say it over here, but Shnosayim Yomim Chazal say that it was a full 2 years. That's what Chazal say.
What's the Chassidus of 2 years?
No, it was a full 2 years. It doesn't say Shnosayim. It means just Shnosayim will mean 2 years. Shnosayim Yomim means a full 2 years, 730 days or whatever, which is 365.
And should the sign would not be the same thing?
No, would it mean 2 years? Could mean Be'erach.
Barak,
It was a full 2 years. Okay, next Rashi. Al Hayar.
All Sha'ar Naharos Enam Kavuyan Ya'oram Klutz meaningless. All the other rivers are not called
Ya'ar.
Ya'or except Klutz means.
Except for the Nile. Why? No, because the Ya'ar really means a channel. Okay, it means like a man-made river.
And they should call Ha'aretz Asuyin Ya'orim
Bidei
Dei
Adam.
Adam. Okay, so all the other
There's all the land, meaning the land of Mitzrayim, was made Ya'orim, means channels,
irrigation channels, like
irrigation Bidei Adam, man-made.
okay. Nilas Ole Lechulam,
B'toicham.
and then the Nilas would then flow into these.
Or rise, and the water would flow into these channels. Umashka is and give them water.
If nation ain't Geshomim, Yordim, Mitzrayim, Tordir, the Shor, Aratos. And rain did not fall
Because rain doesn't fall in Egypt regularly like other lands.
other lands.
In fact, Egypt has one of the lowest
Rainfall.
rainfalls.
And in
What
fact,
about Jordan?
Jordan, that's a different area.
and they would wait for the Nile to overflow and irrigate all the land. If it didn't happen, they had a terrible crop that year.
Right.
So
It's an amazing thing, even though the Nile starts all the way somewhere in Kenya or was it
Right.
Tanzania or somewhere, right? And you think, wow, the main beneficiary of the Nile was Egypt, because that was all right at the end.
it would flow all the way down.
But now Ethiopia dammed it up, is damming it up.
Oh yeah?
Well Egypt also created.
It's not-
Well,
not-
that's
it's
right
having
down.
black locusts.
Yeah, but that was beneficial to it.
Yeah, once they dam it up, then they can shut off, they back it up and shut it off.
I'm not aware of that. Okay. Mordechai, Pasuk base.
והנה מן היאור
By the way, I mentioned this a number of times. When it comes to a dream, every step of the dream is hine, behold. Because, I give an example. Let's say I'm sitting over here, my eyes are closed, and I open my eyes and I see a table. Was the table existing there before?
No.
Yes, it was. Of course it was.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
The table was there.
But
Just
now
like
you perceive.
I perceived it. But in a dream, let's say I see a table in the dream. Before I saw it, the table doesn't exist. This is a dream.
It's only a dream.
It's only a dream. Therefore, that's why hine, behold, meaning all of a sudden there was the dream. As you give it here, the hine omed al, behold, he was standing by the river. Meaning, before he saw it in the dream, he wasn't standing by the river. It all of a sudden now that fact, that Metzias came into being in the dream. So therefore, hine, behold, something new happened now. Okay, now next stage. And Mordechai, please. Hine min hayar.
אוlos שבע פרוס יפוס
Yefos
יפוס מראה ובריאוס בשר ותראינה באחו.
And behold, from the river, Oilois Sheva Poros, 7 cows came up. Yefos Maria, a beautiful appearance, Uvrios Bosa, and healthy flesh. Vatireno Ba'ochu, and they pastured in the meadow. Okay, the Ba'ochu means right next to, as Rashi is going to explain, not right over here, but later, Rashi said that means they pastured in the meadow was right next to the river. You didn't have to go far in. You didn't have to seek pasture. Right next to the river, everything was growing. It was nice, lush grass there.
Cool.
Okay,
Up there and stuff, the irrigation channel, like,
Okay.
a whole bunch of them.
okay. That says Rashi. First Mare,
סימן הוא לימי הסובה שהבריאוס נירוס יפוס זו לזו.
She'ein
אין בריאה
Sora
צרה
B'chaverta.
בחברתה.
Okay. Okay, so Rashi says that means, what it means, a beautiful appearance. Now it's interesting. A person's appearance is totally dependent on how the other person sees him. You see that in fashion. Right? What does fashion make a fashion? Is that you want to be seen by somebody else the way you want other people to see you.
Somebody else's perspective.
Right.
Oh,
Okay? Somebody else's perspective. So therefore, it's what it means, Yefos Mareh, or beautiful appearance. What does that mean? Not necessarily beautiful in themselves, but they were beautiful the way other people saw them.
because they were well fed and they were
Okay, that's as well. That makes a different point. If Rios Posse mentions that it fell, but the Torah is making an issue of the fact that they were beautiful of appearance, meaning they were beautiful the way other people saw them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Rashi is pointing out. So this Rashi says, "This siman hu limei hasova." This is a siman of the years of plenty. Shabrios niras yofa zu lezu. That the people, creations, human beings looked favorably one to the other. They looked nice to each other. She'ein beria tzar b'chavet. Nobody felt any jealousy or enmity towards the other, because as a person has a 10-room house with 3 Cadillacs sitting outside, he doesn't feel envious of the other person's Lamborghini, right? Because he's got his own Cadillacs, doesn't mind it. Okay. So the same idea over here. So therefore, the cows, the good cows, the fat cows, looked good, which means other people looked at them and saw them and they thought, well, yes, it looks very nice. Very nice. Meaning they didn't feel any enmity or the one envious or jealous of the other of the cows.
What was the chashivas of that?
That each person had so much of himself that they weren't envious of each other. Okay? Ba'achu, next Rashi,
Ba'achu,
Ba'agam,
ba'agam,
which means a meadow. He actually translated it as Marisak, Belaz, K'lo Yiske Ochu. Marisak is like a marsh, or meadow. Meadow is a place where there's a lot of, it's like a muddy, marshy ground.
Right, like in Thailand.
Right.
India.
Where the places where they have a lot of water. That means there was plenty, very fertile ground. Okay, Shlomo, Pasuk Gimel.
V'hinei sheva parod achirot, olot. Achireihem means hayur, ra'ot, moreh, v'dakot, v'sar. Modna, Esau haparot al svat hayor. Okay, so behold, 7 cows,
Other
cows came up after them, after the first ones, from the river, and they were bad in appearance, and they were dakot.
Thin.
The meat, they were dark. The meat
Scrawny.
was thin, scrawny, and they stood by the parot, or they stood by the edge of the river.
Al-Sfasya means they stood next to the other
The other
cows,
cows by the edge of the river.
right? Al-Sfasya by the river, on the riverside.
Okay. The coat, the sar. Okay, thinness, and then
And she says, Tin
Lashon
Lashon dark
dark
means
was
thin.
thin.
Okay, Rashi says, because I'm not sure what Rashi's coming to tell you otherwise.
No, that's why he says it's thin. He probably knew it's thin.
Right. Dark means something thin, like a thin matzah. Right? So we can't really describe that about
What service
You can say thin like papyrus paper.
okay, you can say that as well.
That's
I'm saying,
pretty
so an animal is not generally that thin. So it means thin flesh, means the amount
Lean.
of flesh that was on,
You can see the skeleton through it.
right, was on the bones was very, very little, very thin.
Lean.
Right. Lean, correct, that's right. Okay,
Lean.
Yaakov, Pasuk Dalet,
ותאכלנה בעת
Haporot.
הפרות רעות המראה, the bad looking, ודקות הבשר, and the thin flesh cows, then ate. Ate שבע הפרות, the 7 fine looking, יפו המראה, the fine looking המראה הבריאות,
Abiyot, and the
healthy cows,
right?
and then Vayikat Paro, and then Pharaoh woke up.
Okay.
So we have a look here, the 8, Vatochalna, the 8. Siman Shitahei Kol Simachat Hasava, symbolizing all the joy of the abundant years.
Nishkachat.
Nishkachat, will be forgotten b'mei hara'av during the hunger years.
Years of famine, years of hunger. Okay? By the way, Rashi doesn't point out what is the significance that Tamoid na'etzel ha'paros asfas hayom. What does it mean that they stood next to each other?
Well, they had to eat them, they had to be close to them.
Yeah, but what was the significance later on in the interpretation of the dream? So Rashi doesn't mention it here, but later the other Mefarshim explain that initially, in the first 2 years, they, in Egypt anyway, they managed to survive because they had stored up everything from the years of plenty, so they had what to eat. So therefore, there was somewhat of a side-by-side situation.
Oh, okay.
That was significant. So
There was a famine, right? Raging, right? There was a famine, but they could still manage to eat something. But then afterwards, they completely think that all the plenty was forgotten because the famine was so severe. They completely any good memories they had of the years of plenty were totally forgotten.
And that was only the first 2 years, how do we know that?
Later on, it says in the
Later on, they had to come to negotiate with Yosef.
right, where they came down and everything. That the first 2 years, in the end of Parshas Vayigash, next week's Parsha, it says the whole series of events that happened during the famine. Okay? Yeah, Yaakov, you weren't here last year, were you, in this year? I'm going to ask you the question which I ask every year.
oh,
The archaeologists in Egypt, right, they found the bones of 7 cows. Which ones were they? Fat cows or the thin cows?
think cow.
What makes you say the thin cows?
There's only bone, or they're gonna have bone. I don't know. I don't know.
You know the answers?
Go on.
It was a dream.
Oh, catchy. Ask me again, I'll tell you.
So that's what I asked you very last year.
It's only a dream.
No, yeah.
Okay, Matt. Pasuk Hey.
Vayishan, Vayachalom, Shanis, Vehine, Shava, Shibalim, Olos, Bakaneh, Echad, Berios, Vitovos. He fell asleep and dreamt a second time, and behold, 7 ears of grain were sprouting on one stalk, healthy and good.
So going back actually when we started off, that Yaakov woke up in his dream and didn't go back to sleep. What would it have been if Paro had not gone back to sleep?
He wouldn't have to go through the famine.
No.
But he wouldn't have
So
had the second dream.
later on we see that one of the things Yosef interprets the dream and says that the whole thing is one dream. This was one of the rayas that Yosef had. Because if it had the significance of 2 dreams, right? So according to some of Farshim means he dreamt, he woke up and he dreamt he fell back asleep. That's according to some Farshim. But even though Rashi doesn't seem to learn like that, Pashtus means he actually woke up. If it really had been 2 messages, right, then he should have dreamt the whole thing before he woke up. In other words, if Akash Baruch Hu wanted to send him 2 messages, one dream about the cows and one dream about the stalks of grain, right, and he should have dreamt both of them before he woke up. Because what would be if he'd woken up and hadn't fallen back asleep? So he wouldn't have got the second message then.
Right.
So it must be that the message of the first dream of the cows was exactly the same message as the stalks. Therefore, if he hadn't gone back to sleep, he would have got he would have gotten the message.
Right. But the real message was, because it was doubled down, that it was going to come soon.
Oh, correct. So in other words, if he'd taken the dream seriously the first time, and when he woke up and hadn't gone back to sleep, so then Akash Baruch Hu wouldn't have needed to shake him up a bit. But now he went back to sleep and Akash Baruch Hu was telling him, this is serious business, right? So he made them have this same dream again. So Ba'etzim was one message, and he needed to be shaken up by the second dream to tell him this is serious business. Don't
Delay.
don't ignore it, right, and don't delay it. Okay. Let's see the Rashi.
So if we would have gone, when we go back to sleep, we would have ignored it.
If he hadn't ignored it, right, if he hadn't gone back to sleep and ignored it, he would have taken it seriously the first time, and he would have done something about it. Okay. Vayishon, Rashi, go to the French.
Bakaneh echad, on one stalk.
Tuil belaz. Rashi's pointing out, konech means a stalk. This is the French word which you use for a stalk of grain. When you have a stalk, the stalk has little grains growing from it. That's what Rashi's pointing out. Konech,
Okay. And
because
beri.
konech can also mean a reed, which is a totally different plant. Okay? So that's what Rashi pointing out. No, it means one stalk. Brios,
Berios, healthy.
Saints belaz.
Saints balas,
Right?
in Old French.
Right, as you have healthy in French is what is the word?
Sanitary.
Sanitary. It comes from the word sanitary. It comes from the French
You would know
word.
that.
Yeah.
Why is Rashi bringing all these French words into these?
It seems obviously Rashi
I
was
learned a
bothered
French
by
word
the
at the
fact
French
that
cooking school.
there could be a misunderstanding. First of all, over here, generally you don't describe
Do with sanitary?
grains
Right next
of
to each other.
wheat, right, as being healthy. Human being is healthy, an animal is healthy. Okay? But grains are not described as being healthy.
That's
So
what
Rashi's saying, brios in this respect means healthy, it means robust, they were good. They were,
And he had to go to French to...
well, that was Rashi's,
homology.
right. Okay?
Asante.
Now, Yisrael Mer, let's go right in. Pasuk Vov.
והנה שבע שבלים, תחס. Thin stalks.
And Shtufois Kodim.
Kodim.
Rashi explained means blown out by the east wind. Wind blow.
Go.
Somchos Achreim was sprouting after them.
After them. Until one
No, that's it. That's in the right Rashi over here. Shtufois
he had
Haslates, the last. By the way, very often it's transliterated, the Rashi's French words, where it has a sin, where it looks like a thing, as a shin. More often than not, it should be transliterated as a sin. Right? Because that's what Rashi's way of expressing an S sound in French was as a sin, not as a samach. And it does mean, so that means haslates. I think that's why in the English translation, as it should be anyway. Okay. Yeah, means shkifon kodum. The Targum translates this as shkifon kodum. Chavutos means the word shkifon, Rashi says, means beaten. Chavut means something's beaten.
Loshen mashkoif.
Loshen mashkoif. The same expression as you term a mashkoif is a lintel of the door, right? It's called that way because hachovut tomid is constantly being banged by the door which beats on it. That's why the mashkev is called a lintel. The lintel is called a mashkev because it gets banged by the door. Kodim.
Kodim means ruach, means rockets.
Right. It means an east wind. Korin bisa, which means, as we know, an east wind is generally a very dry wind. So it means that these ears of grain were sprouting, were so dried out and beaten out by the wind, means that there was really, Chazal explained, it means there was like a hollow. You just had the husk of the grain, of the ear of the grain, without the inside grain itself. Okay. יחיאל.
אמרתי, למה השיבולים הדקות את שבע השיבולים הבריות והמלאות. יקץ פרעה והנה החלום.
Okay, let's translate. ותבלענה השיבולים הדקות. The thin stalks, the thin ear, shall we say, the thin ears
Swallowed.
swallowed up the 7 ears, the healthy and full ears. Vayikatz Paro. Paro woke up. Hinei chalon. Behold, it was a dream. Okay. Now, why does it have to say? Rashi's going to point out. What do you mean? Obviously, it was a dream. Why do you have to say? Oh, it was a dream. Yeah, so Rashi's going to explain what that means. Okay. Now here, I don't know why Rashi repeats it. Here, Rashi says Habriyos.
Shenis Balaz.
Saint, that's right.
Shenis.
Yeah, but as I mentioned before, don't ignore it. It's a sin, not a shin. Sense Balaz. Okay, but what Rashi just mentioned that actually the same thing, the same sense. Excuse me, in the word. And also hey. Right, the Mepharshim asked that there's no reason for Rashi to repeat it over here in Pasuk Zayin when it's already been mentioned in Pasuk Hey. Okay, anyway, V'hinei chalon,
Chalon, V'hinei Nishlam.
chalon, shalem lefanav. V'hutzrach,
V'hutzrach L'Torim.
lepotrim.
L'Potrim.
Okay. Right, behold, V'hinei Nishlam chalon. It became a complete dream. In other words, Paro felt that this was now, the two parts of the dream were really all one dream. And now he needed to find an interpretation to this dream to know what it's all about. Because he realized this dream wasn't Stama.
What motivated to think that was one dream?
It's the similarity between
He had a-
seven,
he had a-
7 and 7 and swallowing up.
The same thing, so to speak.
Right. Just in two, one with animals and one with grain. The concept of the dream was the same. It was the thin ones were swallowing up the fat ones.
Did Hashem have to tell Paro twice because he was so smart?
Well, that's how I mentioned before. Later on, Yosef interpreted the doubling over of the dream to tell him that to Paro that you better take care of it right now because it's happening right now. Rachuf. Right. Okay. We go background. Aaron, Pasuk Ches.
Yes. Vayi va'boker. Vati what?
Atipoem Lucho.
And in the morning, Vatipoem, he was depressed.
Well, Rashi's going to explain what that means. Atipoem Lucho.
Vayishlach, and he sent Vayikra as called Chartumei, and he
Called for.
He called for all the Chartumei, the how do we translate the Chartumei?
I was going to say, it's famous sorcerers.
Sorcerers. That's called Chachamawa, and all its wise men. Yisaper Paro lahem es alamo, ein poser osam leparo. And Paro told it to all the
Told them
the Chartumim and the Chachamim
his dream.
his being, and be'ain, there's no one who interpreted osam leparo, who
For Paro.
interpreted the dreams for Paro.
Right. Nobody could interpret them for Paro. And Rashi's going to make this. The word Paro, le Paro, is superfluous. It means they couldn't interpret the dream. Finished. So Rashi's going to explain that they did attempt to interpret the
But
dream.
Paro didn't
Well,
accept it.
Paro wasn't acceptable to Paro.
He wasn't
He didn't
comfortable.
feel. By the way, it's interesting. In dreams, the Gemara says in a number of places, in the last parak of Brachas, the Gemara says, not to discuss about dreams, but basically the Gemara says, Ein. That's something else. That was last week's thing. But he says, Ein cholem ela acha, hakol holech acha pisrei. Meaning, the same dream can be interpreted in a number of ways, and the way it's interpreted, that's the way it will happen, if it has any significance. Right, in fact, the Gemara said that, there was, right, correct. There was this dream interpreter who, if you paid him money, he gave you a good interpretation of the dream, and if you didn't pay him money, he gave you a bad interpretation.
It was a business.
Right? And in the end, he got his just desserts in the end. Right? Because, anyway.
Yeah, the dream.
No, there was, so it says Abai and Rava both brought in dreamt similar dreams. And for Abai, who gave him money, he interpreted it well. And for Rava, who didn't give him money, he didn't interpret well. And finally, after a number of times, Rava cottoned on to what was happening. And he got his back on this Bar Hedya, and Gemara says that he had a very bitter end. This guy. Upon him. But you see from now, so my point here is that technically, if Paro had accepted the interpretation of these sorcerers or the wise men of Egypt, it would have necessarily, the dream would have been fulfilled in that way. But because he didn't accept it, it didn't clap by him, as they say, you know what? Okay, it didn't.
Yes, mustard.
Right, he wasn't satisfied. He didn't feel right with their interpretations. So therefore, it didn't happen.
Well, I learned out of Rashi says that he left out certain details which Yosef was able to bring in. That's why.
That's how he knew that Yosef was really, because Yosef knew details of the real dream which Pharaoh himself hadn't spoken.
And you say Pharaoh held some stories back. He didn't sort of tell the truth. He said, "No, you got it wrong, Pharaoh. You should have so and so and so and so." That's
right. Okay. Anyway, let's see the Rashi over here.
Yes.
Vatipoem rucho. Tarfa ruche. That was torn.
Torn away.
His spirit was torn. It means he was. So Rashi goes on to say. So that's how the Targum translates it. His spirit was torn. Meaning he was unsettled. So makashkeshes besoicha kafano means his spirit was knocking inside him like a bell, like the clapper of a bell. Okay? So it means, I translate, it means he was agitated. Means he felt agitated. He felt unsettled. Didn't know what was going to be, what was this all about. Okay, now Rashi adds in another point, when Nebuchadnezzar Batis Po'em Rucho. Imos Achaloim Vahalomas Yisrono. So he says by Nebuchadnezzar also he had a dream, and I think it was Daniel who was there, who interpreted the dream for him. But there it says Vatispoem Ruchoi. He uses a different, doesn't say Vatipoem Ruchoi, Vatispoem, a double tof. So Rashi explains that means because there Nebuchadnezzar had two problems. One is he actually forgot the dream itself. It means he knew it had a dream which had a significance, but he forgot the dream itself, and needless to say, because he forgot the dream, now he didn't know what the interpretation of. So he was doubly agitated.
Well, wouldn't Pharaoh have the same situation?
No, so Pharaoh
did not forget the
dream. He remembered the dream. He just was agitated because
by
he didn't
this one.
Right, by the interpretation. Okay?
Nebuchadnezzar?
So Nebuchadnezzar forgot the dream, and he was agitated by he didn't have an interpretation.
So how did he forget? How do you remember that?
So the Novi, no, it wasn't a Novi,
Daniel, wasn't it?
Daniel, I think it was Daniel. Daniel, through Ruach HaKodesh, he was revealed to him that what Nebuchadnezzar's dream was. Okay, Chal Tumei. Right, so now Rashi's going to say, what is the word Chal Tumei? And now, so Rashi says this is like an acronym for Hanecharim Betimei Meisi. Okay, it's made up of three words. Char Tu Mei. Okay, so it means Hanecharim, which means they delve into the Timei Mesim. The Timei means the bones of Mesim of the dead.
There's a special word for that.
Necromancy.
Necromancy. Big word.
That was Bilam and Balak. That's what
they also were involved with this, right? But they also later on there was a famous Maisa with the Shaul Melech brought up Shmuel from the dead.
Should we attack?
Right. Okay, Shashalim Ba'atzomos. That means they would ask, bring up spirits through bones. And that's what he adds in the parentheses over here. Timei Hein Atzomos Beloshen Arami. Right? The bones are, Timei is bones in Aramaic. Over Mishnah, we find this expression used in the Mishnah, Bai Shumole Timaya. A house which was full of Timaya, which means it was full of bones. Okay, let's do one more Rashi.
The Egyptians were experts in witchcraft?
Yes. In fact, later on it says that, like we have a saying in English, bringing coals to Newcastle. Remember that? in coastal Newcastle.
Was that Abracadabra?
I was in Newcastle, now the
sorry,
city is there.
Abracadabra.
Only thing is there is the yeshiva.
No, it comes from
Gates
a
of
rabbi's
Gates.
name.
Yeah, actually, what has revitalized the city is high tech. A lot of high tech going on.
Is
Anyway,
Abracadabra mentioned in the parasha somewhere?
No. It's interesting. Do you know what the word abracadabra means?
Father of...
No.
What does it mean? Is it
Abra,
It's Aramaic, no?
right, means the outside should be like the inside.
Ah.
oh okay.
Kadabra, it's Aramaic. The word, the source comes from Aramaic.
Oh, so the outside should be like the inside.
Means that what's hidden, right, should be like, should be known. Anyway,
Ein
I don't know, I'm not sure
posel
exactly what, but that's what the words mean.
Ein posel
Yeah.
over Paro. Posted.
And you also, they were interpreting the dreams. Aber loyle Pharaoh, but not for Pharaoh. Shaloya koilon nichnas ba'ozno. Their voice didn't enter his ears. He wasn't listening to them. He didn't accept what they
He
said.
didn't accept.
Low koras ruach. He didn't feel settled or satisfied with their interpretation.
The spirit of the...
Koras ruach means a person is agitated, means he's heated up. Then afterwards he was satisfied, he's koras, it cools down the spirit. That's koras ruach, cooling down of the spirit. It means being settled, satisfied. So they were telling him, Boros atom moilid, sheva bonos atom koilid. They were telling him, you're going to have 7 daughters and you're going to bury them. And it's interesting.
He didn't like that.
No, you know why? Because the Mepharshim explain is he realized that he had a double dream over here, and it was because he was Paro that he had this dream. Meaning it was something on a national scale, not something on a personal scale. Therefore he dismissed it. He said, this dream is not a personal dream. This dream is a national dream. Because it's in my position as Paro, as ruler of this country, that's why I've had this dream. That's why afterwards, when Yosef told him this was a national dream,
It's very intuitive.
right. Okay, let's then stop here. There's a shame.